We're doing some impoundment barra fishing today, and I've chosen to go and fish with the ZMan 6-inch SwimmerZ. The reason why I like them is big paddle tail, they move a lot of water and it makes it really easy for the barra to find them. They don't just make a lot of wake under the water, they also have a big presence. It's easy for the barra to see them. Normally I run them on the SnakelockZ jigheads, and what I like about those is the weedless factor that they bring into the whole thing. A wide gape hook, really strong, so really good hook sets for when you want to pin them in the jaw. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to rig one of these up for you, and then I'm going to change the weights in it, and I'll explain why in a second. So rigging them is pretty straightforward. There's a really noticeable seam in the plastic, which is a really good guide for finding where the hook comes out. I'll hook mine really shallow, so just maybe barb depth. Roll it straight out the side, all the way up, over the little keeper, and roll it over. That keeper over there stops the plastic from sliding down the hook, so that just hooks it right in there. Then I sort of judge with my thumb where I'm going to have that hook point come out, straight in the slot in the belly. If you can see that over there, it's got a nice slot in the belly. Straight in there, keep my thumb in the same position, then 90 degrees out the top, keeping in mind with that seam, that way it comes straight out the top like that. So that way your plastic sits like that, and it'll track nice and straight in the water. The advantage, like I said, with that is it's completely weedless, so whether you're running it through the weeds, through the timbers, all that sort of stuff, it'll come straight through there. If you get it into oxygen weed, that sort of stuff, quick little flick with the rod tip, it'll just pull it through there. What I do with mine as well is I tie them on with a loop knot. It just gives a little bit of extra movement and action in there. With the SnakelockZ, like I said, that's a half-ounce head. What I'm going to do with that is pop that one off, because we're fishing fairly shallow water. I've got another packet over here that's got 1/12 ounce heads on him. Pop that hook off there, and then it's just a matter of rolling it back onto this one. So what that allows me to do, it keeps that head down a little bit. I can run it about 6 inches above or below the water surface and just above that weed, so it doesn't get fouled up, and that just gets it in that strike zone where the barra's sitting in the weeds, see something come cruising over the top, and they come out and they snap it. Right, so for running the SwimmerZ, I like using a long rod, 6'6" to 7'2". I like making really long casts because I like using my plastics to cover a lot of water, and because you're just slow rolling them, there's not a real lot of rod action being imparted into the lure. A medium heavy action, because I do like putting a heavy hook set into them to really bury those heavy gauge hooks. With the SwimmerZ, I can't stress enough to fish them slowly, so what I do is I fish a slow gear ratio reel. That in turn forces me to fish them slowly. So 5.5 to 1, 5.3 to 1 gear ratio reel is more than plenty, good drag, so you can really lock those fish up and get them out of the tight structure. Right, so far as technique with these go, I'll cast them right out to the edge, get it as close to the edge as you can, and then pop it off that weed, and then it's just a slow roll. It's not any more difficult than that, it's just as simple. I try and run it sort of 6 inches just below the surface. Slow roll all the way back to the boat. Oh, there he is.
Nice fish. Look at that, right in the corner of the jaw, eh?
That's where you want to get him.